All right, let's talk about a book that is an absolute game changer for anyone in the markets. We're diving into Mark Douglas's Trading in the Zone. Now, this isn't about finding the perfect strategy. It's about rewiring your brain to actually use the strategy you already have. Let's get into it. So, just to be super clear right from the start, we are not talking about hot stock tips or some secret indicator today. Nope. This is all about the one thing that truly separates the consistently profitable traders from, well, everyone else. And that one thing is their mindset. We're getting into the psychology of trading, and trust me, this is where the real work begins. And this is the question that probably keeps you up at night, right? We have all been there. You've got a system, you've done the research, you've put in the hours, but your P&L is still a total roller coaster. It is beyond frustrating. Well, Mark Douglas's big idea is that the problem isn't your charts. The problem is what's happening between your ears. Okay, so let's start with what he calls the trader's dilemma. See, most people who get into trading think that success is something you find out there. You know, the perfect system, that one magic indicator, or the guru who has all the answers. They're looking for an external solution. And you can totally see why, can't you? Trading promises this incredible sense of freedom. No boss breathing down your neck, no rigid schedule. It's just you, your ideas, and the endless possibilities of the market. It feels like the ultimate form of creative and financial expression. But here's the catch, the big paradox. That total, unstructured freedom, it's also incredibly dangerous. Because with no one telling you what to do, you have to create all the rules, all the structure, all the discipline yourself. And honestly, our normal lives just don't train us for that kind of radical self-reliance. So if we have to build that discipline from scratch, how do we do it? Well, to get there, it really helps to look at how traders have tried to make sense of the markets over the decades. It's a pretty cool evolution, actually. So it all started with fundamental analysis, right? Looking at earnings reports, economic data, all that good stuff. But that didn't really capture the herd mentality of the market. So along came technical analysis, which was a huge leap forward because it focused on patterns in human behavior. But even that was missing something absolutely crucial. And this is the trap. So many traders get stuck right here, sometimes for years, just endlessly debating which one is better. Are you a fundamental guy? Are you a technical trader? They think the answer to making money is hidden in one of these two camps. They're still looking for an external secret. But what they're missing is the third pillar, mental analysis. Look, you could have the world's greatest trading system handed to you on a silver platter, but if your mind is riddled with fear, hope, and greed, you will find a way to lose money with it. The real variable in your trading isn't the market, it's you. And that brings us to the very heart of this whole thing. We need to stop obsessing over the market on the screen and start paying way more attention to that much more wild, much more volatile market that's going on inside our own heads. I mean, this quote from the book just says it all. The pros aren't necessarily smarter or have better tools. What they have is a different set of beliefs and attitudes that lets them navigate the emotional chaos of trading without getting thrown off their game. Okay, the first big step, and this one is huge, is taking 100% responsibility. That means no more blaming the market or your broker or some news event. Your results, both the good and the bad, are a direct reflection of your decisions and your mindset, period. Once you accept that, everything changes. The next piece of the puzzle is truly accepting risk. And I don't just mean saying, oh yeah, I know trading is risky. I mean deeply, genuinely being okay with the fact that any single trade could be a loser before you even put it on. When you can do that, the fear of loss just evaporates. It loses its power over you. So, how in the world do you get to that fearless state of mind? Well, the secret is to stop thinking like a player at the table and start thinking like the casino itself. This is probably the most powerful analogy in the entire book. Just think about it. Does a casino freak out if someone hits a jackpot on a slot machine? Of course not. They might even celebrate it. Why? Because they know that over millions of spins, their small statistical edge guarantees they will come out ahead. They don't care about any single event. They only care about the probabilities playing out over time. That's how a pro trader thinks. And this is the core idea you have to internalize. Your trading strategy, your set of rules for when to buy and sell, that is your statistical edge. It's your casino advantage. The result of any one trade is basically random. You don't know if it'll win or lose, but if you execute your edge flawlessly over the next 100 trades, the probabilities will work in your favor. So you can see the night and day difference here. The amateur is completely wrapped up in the outcome of each trade. They're trying to avoid losses, they're hoping, they're regretting. It's an emotional mess. The pro, they operate like a business. Losses are just an expected cost of doing business. They stay disciplined, they stay objective, and they play the long game. Now, when you finally get these concepts, when you take responsibility, accept the risk, and think in probabilities, that's when you can finally access the state that all elite performers talk about, the zone. And the zone isn't some mystical, magical place. It's a very real state of mind where you stop fighting yourself. There's no fear, no hesitation, no second guessing. You're simply in sync with the market, seeing the opportunities clearly, and acting on them without inner conflict. So what does it feel like? It's effortless. You're not forcing trades. You're completely focused on what's happening right now, not what happened on the last trade or what you hope happens on the next one. It's like you have this natural flow with the market, where your actions are instinctual and perfectly aligned with your strategy. So we'll end with a question that really sums up the entire book. When you sit down to trade, who is your real opponent? Is it the market? Or is it your own fear, your own ego, your own bad habits? Because how you answer that question will ultimately decide everything.